So, can France win the World Cup 2027? Um, I've been going through this a lot in my head, and I've been playing with a lot of different thoughts. Honestly, I think if there's anybody that can win it in 2027, it's going to be France. Um, well, outside of South Africa or New Zealand, those are the two big ones, the ones that are normally there fighting for it constantly. And I think if they're able to play the way that they did in 2023, because honestly, when they played, it was terrifying. Ramos was terrifying. So many players, they played so well. They played with an intensity that it was very, very hard to match, and you could see that. Plus, still having a relatively young squad, a lot of players still gaining a lot of experience, and then you look at what's potentially going to be happening. Well, the amount of time that they have between now and 2027 to grow experience, international experience, matches at the highest level under pressure. Antoine Dupont, he's just getting better and better and better. You have players like Ramos, who's just he's an absolute phenomenon. You have Malvaca, you have players like Mathieu Jalibert, you have um, Gael Ficou. Then you have players like Luis Bielbiere, Gaetan Barlow, Winnie Antonio, who's just an absolute monster. He's scary. He's scary. But then you look at players like Mofana, Emmanuel Miafo. You have, like I said, Piato Malvaca, Julian Marchand, Nolan Lagarek. It's like Mathieu Jalibert. You can look at the squad, and it's just wow. The talent that they have, the squad that they have available to them, taking consideration next year's international fixtures, taking consideration the top 14, taking consideration the Champions Cup. These players are just developing, and they are getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and they're just working better together as a team. So honestly, out of South Africa or New Zealand, if there's going to be any team that's going to have a chance at winning, honestly, I don't know, it's a ball hair between France and Ireland, because I kind of want Ireland to go far, to kind of break that curse, but at the same time, I do want to see France keep progressing, because, like I say, and I always say this, look, I am a Saints supporter. I am a Springbok at heart, but I am a much bigger rugby fan. I'd much rather watch amazing rugby than, you know, see my team win, if that makes sense. And I've always been like that. Like, I understand, look, you get your ups, you get your downs, you get your losses, you get wins, and it's great to see South Africa win the World Cup. And if they're able to win the third successive World Cup, I will be absolutely ecstatic. But would I rather watch South Africa win in a shitty game than watch South Africa lose in an absolutely jaw-dropping game? I would much rather watch South Africa lose in an absolutely jaw-dropping game that is just full of excitement than a boring encounter. So honestly, you look at the squad that France have available to them. You look at someone like BLBRA, who, this guy, he's just a dynamo. He is so fast. Like, he is scary fast. Like, that's Habana fast. And the kid, he just can't stop scoring as well. So if he's going to continue scoring the way he is, he's going to continue in the vein of form that he's in, he's going to be so scary in 2027. Taking consideration Malvaca, taking consideration Miafo. And then you have someone like Ramos, who's on point. You have someone like Antoine Dupont, who leads the line with creativity. He's brilliant. He can open up defenses. His running play is brilliant. His crossfield kicks are brilliant. He's just one of those all-round players that, honestly, I feel there's an unnecessary hate on him because there's so much hype about him, and I don't know. I just see France as this underdog that they have the ability to go so far in the tournament, but they got to make sure nobody gets injured. They got to make sure that everybody's developing well. They're paying proper attention to their players, staff. Literally everything. Everything needs to be on point between now and 2027. Because the last thing you want is an injury to happen a couple months before, especially if someone like, for instance, Antoine Dupont was to get injured. It's very hard to replace it. It's not impossible, but it's very, very hard to replace a person like that. So I think it's just going to be a case of good development. Obviously, there's a lot of backlash in the 2025, well, next year, when France go to New Zealand about them not playing a full strength squad. And I do kind of understand why, because they are preparing for 2027. But at the same time, there's a lot of back and forth. And that's for another video, and it's very in-depth. So obviously, if you guys want to know more, take a read into it, because obviously the All Blacks are not happy that France are not sending out their full squad. But otherwise, look, I feel France play some of the most intense rugby right now. It's exciting, it's fast paced, and it's joy, an absolute joy to watch. So look, it's just a case on France are gonna be they're gonna be hard to beat, to say the least. And like I said, I can see France getting far, but I'd like to see them, potentially make it all the way, because no matter who they're going to be going up against in the World Cup, they're going to be putting them to the gun, and hopefully, so they go up against South Africa and South Africa move them, but it's anybody's game when you're playing up against France, especially when you have someone like Antoine Dupont. And as much as I hate to say it, I would love to see Antoine Dupont one day win a World Cup. Hopefully, it's not in 2027. But if for whatever reason he was to win a World Cup, I think that would shut up a lot of people. It would shut up a lot of people. So yeah, look, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I want to hear if you think France can win the World Cup, and kind of who do you think are going to be the most important people that are going to be key for them winning. Obviously, you have your coaching staff and so on, but which players are going to be most crucial for for taking France deep into that World Cup and potentially win it for them, right? Because right now, honestly, I feel France probably have the best chance, but outside of New Zealand and South Africa. And the reason being, the reason I say that is with New Zealand and South Africa, it doesn't matter how well they are playing at any point, at any given day, no matter which tournament they're playing, they always find a way to show up. Winners find a way to win, and that's what they do, which is why you look at the 2023 World Cup, you can't tell me that South Africa were blowing people out the water. They found a way to win at whatever cost. They found a way to win. So this is something that Ireland lack, France lack, but it's something that New Zealand and South Africa have in bundles, right? Plus, we got to take in consideration, like for instance, South Africa, the average age is going to be around 34 for their team, and players like Eben Etzebeth, Pieter Steph du Toit, Cheslin Colby, Sia Khaleesi, they're all going to be around the age, but between the ages of 34, 35, and 37. So they're getting on in their years. So what players are going to be there to replace them? I don't know just yet. There are a couple players that are phenomenal in the lineup, right? And that South Africa have the picks for, but how Rassi would play them, different ball game. But back on to France. There are going to be a couple of rising stars as well coming from the French, from the French production team, you can call them. And I'm quite intrigued to see who's going to break through within the next year to 2 years, um, that can really push the French squad further, because they can't rely on the squad that they have. Right, their squad is still relatively young, needs a lot more experience, but you look at their ability to run, their ability to kick, their tactical awareness is brilliant. I just feel that composure in the big games, it lacks, right? And you guys are probably going to kill me for it, and I will take the smack. But what is the difference between South Africa and New Zealand and France and Ireland? They win. It's that composure, right? When it comes to that last 10, 15 minutes of the game, they are putting in everything. They are making sure that they win. Where France and Ireland, they just don't have that, at least not yet, right? Ireland have players like Prendergast, who's coming up and who's going to be an absolute monster in 2027. Obviously, you have France with Winnie Antonio, like Malvaca. I love watching Malvaca play. He's, you know, he's brilliant. Antoine Dupont, I love watching him play. But my favorite player to watch right now, for France, is Biel Biarrey. And watching him in the Champions Cup is just phenomenal. I love watching that guy play. He is just absolutely brilliant. So, like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think France have a good chance of winning the World Cup in 2027, and why? Who's going to be key to having them win, to give them that success? And who do you think is going to be in the finals with France if they do get there? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. And I do just want to be giving you guys the best content possible. And on that note, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.